My viewers and subscribers, welcome to Jamaica Talk TV News, where we update you with the latest news. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your comment, and don't forget to smash that notification bell so you can be updated. Thank you.
Stout and the co-accused freed of conspiracy to murder charge. Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald and the co-accused Oscar Barnes were freed of their conspiracy to commit a murder charge after a no-case submission in the Home Circuit Court on Monday. The ruling was handed down by trial judge Chester Stamp. At the same time, Stamp ruled that both men have a case to answer as it relates to murder stemming from the July 20, 2020 killing of Tanya MacDonald, who was the second wife of MacDonald, a popular Portland businessman. The ruling was handed down outside the presence of the 7-member jury, which began to hear the case in September last year when the trial started. The media was also not allowed to sit in on Monday's session in court. Both MacDonald and Barnes were charged in 2020 with murder and a conspiracy to murder. Reliable sources informed the news on Monday that Stamp threw out the conspiracy charge after he was satisfied that MacDonald and Barnes did not conspire with each other to kill Tanya. However, both men will be back in court on Tuesday to have the jury deal specifically with the matter of murder. MacDonald and Barnes were implicated in the killing of Tanya after a man by the name of Denvalin Bubble Minot claimed to police that MacDonald hired him for $3 million to kill Tanya. He further claimed that he did not kill Tanya himself, but instead subcontracted the murder to Barnes, who has maintained that he is not guilty of the crime. MacDonald has also maintained his innocence. Minot pleaded guilty to murder and was sentenced to 19 years and 10 months in prison after confessing to being the contractor in the killing. In the case of Barnes, a detective sergeant who was the lead investigator in the matter admitted in his testimony that Barnes was only arrested based on the fact that Minot pointed him out during a drive-through session with the police, claiming that he was the one responsible for killing Tanya. Barnes was never taken on an identification parade, and based on the detective sergeant's testimony, there was no physical evidence linking him to the murder. Cops searched the 2 houses that Barnes is connected to and found no bloody knife or anything else to incriminate him. His motor vehicle, which is still in the custody of the police, was confiscated in 2020 and swabbed for possible evidence, but none presented itself to cops. MacDonald insisted that he did not kill his wife, who he allegedly accused of entertaining multiple men during their marriage. The murder convict Minot claimed during his evidence in court last year that he had a sexual relationship with the businessman's wife. According to Minot, the sexual relationship started when MacDonald allegedly gave him the green light to develop a close relationship with Tanya to get her more comfortable so the murder could go through smoothly. The case continues on Tuesday morning when character witnesses are expected to appear in court to vouch for both MacDonald and Barnes. Teacher and student fight at Belmont Academy in Westmoreland. There was a physical altercation between a teacher and a male student at the Belmont Academy in Westmoreland last week. A video of the incident surfaced on social media showing the teacher and the student in a tussle. The footage shows the teacher flipping the student to the ground before the fight continued on the ground with both of them interlocked. Screams could be heard from onlooking students, one of whom warned, "You're gonna get expelled, brother." However, the fight continued until the interlock between the pair was broken by an intervening student. The news has made several attempts to get a comment from Principal Rayon Simpson, but calls to his phone have gone unanswered. Attempts to get a comment from the chairman were also unsuccessful. But one parent expressed shock when she got wind of the incident. "These are not normal children. In my time, I couldn't dare think of that. We just have to pray for them. Only God can help them," the mother told the news on condition of anonymity. It is the latest in a string of teacher-student physical altercations over the years at Jamaican schools. In March of last year at the Kempsale High School, a student is said to have gotten up into a teacher's face before the teacher pushed him away. The student then attacked the teacher with punches and draped and pulled the educator to the ground. After one such incident, former president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Winston Smith, controversially told the educators to stand up and fight back against the attacks. 14-year-old boy charged with a shop break-in. A 14-year-old Kingston teen has been charged with shop break-in and larceny following an incident on Lad Lane in the parish on January 25. The Central Police say about 10:30 p.m., the complainant securely locked up her shop and the teen later cut the grill and entered the premises. A sum of cash and grocery items were stolen from the establishment. The complainant made a report to the police, who commenced an investigation. The teen confessed to his mother, who later handed him over to the police, where he was subsequently charged. DPP to rule whether charges be laid against the cops accused in Ocheria's killing. The news has been informed that the Director of Public Prosecutions will be asked to determine whether criminal charges should be laid against the 3 policemen arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of a man at a mother's fast food restaurant on Main Street in Ocheria, St. Anne over a week ago. The policemen, along with 5 civilians, are under investigations for the murder of 30-year-old Kajay Sims of Bartlestown, Gale St. Mary. A senior investigator told the news that a file is being prepared for submission to the DPP. Mr. Sims was gunned down inside the popular fast food restaurant during a brawl with a group of men on January 27. It was reported that Mr. Sims and his friend got into a dispute with a group of men, which became physical. It is alleged that he used a knife to slash 2 of the men. Investigators say one of the men went outside, returned with a firearm, and shot Mr. Sims in the chest. The group of men then fled the scene in a convoy of 4 vehicles to St. James. Mr. Sims was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators arrested policemen and civilians after receiving CCTV footage inside the restaurant. Trelawney knife man on double murder rap after separate killings. 24-year-old Solomon Minto is facing 2 counts of murder after 2 men were killed hours apart in Trelawney last week Wednesday. The accused, a laborer of Wakefield Drive, Falmouth in the parish, is now waiting for his court date to be finalized. Reports from the police are that about 9 p.m. on January 31, lawmen were alerted to the community of Water Lane. Upon their arrival, 44-year-old Noel Nelson of Water Lane was seen lying in a pool of blood with stab wounds. He was transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Then, 2 hours later, at 11:17 p.m., the police were alerted to the community of Water Square, where 2 men were said to be in an altercation. One of the men, who the police identified as Minto, used a knife to inflict several wounds to 50-year-old Gerald Corey, a landscaper of Martha Bray in Falmouth. Corey was rushed to the hospital, where he was admitted and died a day later. Minto was taken into custody by lawmen and charged. Taxi groups are concerned about the people who serve the time for illegally imposed traffic fines. President of the All Voice Taxi Association, Lorraine Finnegan, has questioned how the court will treat people who have served prison time because they were unable to pay the illegally imposed traffic fines. In a landmark judgment last month, the Constitutional Court ruled that motorists who paid the traffic fines that were illegally imposed and well above the rates stipulated in the original Road Traffic Act over a 15-year period ending 2021 are entitled to a refund. The ruling follows a lawsuit filed by software engineer Maurice Housen after cops gave him a $5,000 ticket for a speeding violation in July 2021. The fine for a speeding violation under the 1938 RTA is $800. Speaking with the news, Mr. Finnegan said the association is of the view that if its members had been charged at the legal rates, then they would have been able to afford it rather than serving prison time. He said that the association has met twice with a team of lawyers as it seeks guidance on the matter.
And if the lawyers advise us that we have a case to put before the court, then our members are preparing themselves to come up with whatever the cost is for the lawyers to represent us. So our members are waiting on us, the leaders, to go and do the consultation on their behalf. Standard procedure will have dictated that if you can prove that you have paid, there's no way anyone is going to want to honor your claims. And what we find strange in the sector, not just since the ruling, but between 2022 and now, is that the government of Jamaica have evidence of tickets that we have not paid, that we are able to go on their portal and on their website to download them. But they have no record of us paying. So a number of our operators have gone before the court on tickets that they have already paid. And because they have no evidence of it, they have to repay it.
Meanwhile, President of the St. James Taxi Association, Dion Chance, believes the government can rely on technology to identify motorists who have paid the illegal traffic rates but do not have any receipts.
The persons who have paid these fines are not in possession of the ticket. It doesn't mean that there is not evidence that they have paid, because the entity charged by the government has one of the best systems here in Jamaica now in terms of tracking payments. Because if you are going to be audited by one of the major investigating arms of the police force, they can and will find the information. So from the council, we're not that much worried about persons not being able to find evidence of payment, because once the money is paid, we're of the view that there is a case to be answered to.